Hey, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, I give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rachak Kodash. Double honors unto the elders, apostles, a great millstone. The elders, a great millstone. And of course, peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, the sincere servants of Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, sermon and truth and sincerity. So coming back with another lesson through spirit. This lesson will be based off of this article right here, of course, from KKYR.com, which says Russia threatens nukes on 14 U.S. targets. One is close to East Texas. And you heard right, man. As we know, we're, of course, inching towards every day. We're inching closer and closer towards World War III. As we know, the scriptures prophesy about World War III. In Revelation chapter 11, it says how there will be a third woe. Third woe meaning a third war. It says a second woe is past, and a third woe cometh quickly. The second woe represents World War II, and the third woe represents World War III. So this was coming, man, and as we keep on moving on, you're going to keep on hearing about more and more tensions and more conflicts arising. Just like this article right here. This was published March 4th, 2024. Of course, we know our elder Apostle Dahar deemed this year as the year of Jacob's trouble. And yeah, Lord's will, things do, pop off this year, because as we know, in order for Yahushua to come back and make his return, these prophecies need to come to pass. And we hope and we watch for these, prophecies to come to pass. So it says, last week was a big reminder that our real enemy isn't a neighbor or friend affiliated with an opposite political party than our own. On Thursday, Russian President Vladimir Putin mapped out U.S. targets for a nuke attack. One of those targets is really close to us, living in East Texas. Yeah, I guess it's the author speaking. They live in Texas or whatever. It says Putin warned in his State of the Union speech that the West, meaning the U.S. and the countries in NATO, are preparing to strike a Russian territory. With it being an election year, people are focusing more on the candidates instead of what is happening on the world stage. Like World War III with Russia and possible nuclear attacks. Yeah, man, and this was coming. People are and that's really, how the elites, the elite international bankers, which are all Edomites, so-called white people. Well, of course, they want there to be division within America. They want you to be distracted with the things basically going on. With whatever, man. There's a lot of distractions out there. But, most people, again, they understand that World War III. A lot of people know that World War III is pretty much inevitable, right? But they're not watching, though. People are still on their own thing, just minding their own business, which really they should be watching, man. Which again, the prophets of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai will watch. We're going to watch, and of course, we're going to keep on prophesying, bringing out this word as more and more news comes out. That's what watching is, watching for the prophecies. And as we watch, we preach. We make lessons. We go out there in the highways and byways to warn our people, the elect of the nation of Israel. We warn our people, right? And the elect, the Lord will have the elect Israelites flock to this word. So it says, their fate will be much more tragic than anything we could face. They have to understand that we also have weapons that can defeat them on their own territory. Yeah, because America is what has been known as a superpower. Oh, America is this big bad nation, right? And Basically, it can do this and it can do that. Hey, that's slowly fading away, man. As these other nations continue to build their nuclear arsenal and their military, that, saying that America is the top superpower that's quickly fading, as the scriptures say. Uh, Basically paraphrasing, the other nations will turn their plowshares into pruning hooks. Basically paraphrasing. Or sluck. It's well, let me get it so I don't butcher it. This is yes, luck. Yeah, I got that. I meant to say plowshares and the swords. It says Joel chapter 3:10. Beat your plowshares and the swords, and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Yeah, and weak is saying I'm strong. Again, before these other nations were kind of below America, but hey, as we keep on advancing, hey, these other nations are getting more and more powerful. You got BRICS being formed. Hey, if Russia, China, Iran, these other nations came up against America, hey, America wouldn't stand a chance. So let's go ahead and get real quick. Well, to read a little bit more in the article says, he also stated that Russia's nuclear forces are in a state of readiness, and he even released a map of 14 locations in the U.S. that are on his target list. And one of those is super close to East Texas. Yeah, and you got the list right here. It says Putin's nuclear targets mapped, the 14 U.S. locations, and Russia's crosshairs. So skipping down. Oh, by the way, it says Putin also claimed that his new RS-28 Sarmat intercontinental ballistic missile is ready for the Russian military to use. Also known as a Satan II, it measures 116 feet in length, weighs 220 tons, and reportedly has a range of 6,211,180 miles. With Putin's saber rattling reaching new levels, the map shows the 14 locations in the U.S. Russia will likely target in a nuclear war. Yeah, and it says the Pentagon. Pentagon is perhaps the most obvious target. Yeah, and it goes on to name more Air Force bases. So, hey, the other nations, man, they're planning, man. They're other nations, the Lord's spirit, starting out the spirit in these other countries, these other nations. They prepare an attack. They prepare a war. This was coming. Let's go ahead and get Jeremiah chapter 50 and 9. It says, For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Right, so the Lord's going to come. It says an assembly of great nations from the north country. So Lord will rise up an assembly of great nations from the north country. What is that north country? That north country is referring on to Russia. And an assembly of great nations from the north country, the assembly being the Russian Federation. The Lord will cause all of them to set them, as it says right here, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. The arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And yeah, so they're going to surround America. How are they going to surround America? By their missiles. It says that their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Yeah, and the arrows aren't speaking about literal bow and arrows. You can't shoot a traditional bow and arrow thousands of miles all the way from another country. Obviously, that's speaking about, it's symbolic, it's figurative for a nuclear missile. I mean, when you look at a nuclear missile, man, it's basically just a highly futuristic, upgraded version of an arrow. So yeah, this is obviously speaking about a symbolic arrow, which is going to be the nuclear missile. Also, it says Babylon. Yeah, and Babylon isn't speaking about in this verse. Babylon is it's not speaking about the ancient Babylon, which ancient Babylon in the modern day times will be found in Iraq. When you go there, it's greenery there. So this prophecy hasn't come to pass yet. This Babylon right here is speaking about Babylon the Great, which you can read about Revelation, the book of Revelation. Babylon the Great, that golden city, the whore, which is referring unto America. Jeremiah chapter 50 hasn't happened yet. So this was coming. Going back to the article. Says so yeah, and it goes to read into the different Air Force bases, such as in Virginia, Georgia, Missouri, Hawaii, New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, North Dakota, Utah, Montana, and Washington. Yes, so there you have it. It says some scary things going on right now, but we must remember to keep an eye on the world stage and pray nothing like this ever happens. Nah, man, we're praying that this happens, man. We're praying that Yahweh Bashim Yashai destroys Babylon the Great. Because this isn't our rest. Speaking to us, I'm speaking to you Israelites out there. I'm not speaking about the heathen. Yeah, the heathen, of course, such as Esau. I'm sure this is Edomite who wrote this article, the author. Hey, Esau and the heathen, they're gonna pray that the war doesn't come, man. Hey, well, us brothers, us hopeful elect, we're gonna pray that this comes, man, swiftly, because we know a war needs to come in order for Yahweh Shai to make his return. Yahweh Shai said that, basically paraphrasing, he's gonna come when with a fire being kindled already on the planet Earth. Basically paraphrasing that scripture, a fire will already be kindled when Yahushua makes his return. Yahushua is not going to come back in a time of peace like the Christian church ignorantly thinks, the so-called Christian church. They think that he's going to come back in a peaceful time. He's going to come back with his arms spread out. Hey, that's not biblical. Yahushua is coming back in a time of chaos. Yahushua is coming back to shed a blood, man, by the way of his holy angels. Also, once the 144,000 are called up into the chariots, or they're put in, because you do have some brothers who passed on, which I believe most likely us brothers, they're part of the 144,000. We have some more. Of course, our elder apostles. They had elders that passed on. So, hey, they could very well be a part of the 144,000. So point is, the 144,000 receiving the perfect bodies, and Yahushua is going to put the spear on them to also shed blood. So this was coming. But yeah, the point is Yahushua is coming back in time of chaos. So, hey, we're gonna pray that these prophecies come even quicker. That the Lord, the Heavenly Father, stirs up the spirit in these other nations, so that these prophecies come quicker, man. Because this place isn't our rest. This Jeremiah chapter 50. And 51 and 7. It says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations are drunken over wine, therefore the nations are mad. Yeah. And the other nations, the wine represents the philosophies and the ways of America. what these other nations took the ways of America, they put it within their own societies, and hey, the American way, which is what the Babylonian way, has completely messed up the whole entire world. You know, the ways of Babylon, the ways of America, have messed up the world. It says the nations have drunken over wine, therefore the nations are mad. Yeah, and as we keep on going on, what the ways of America again is, if you start implementing the ways and philosophies of America within your own nation, you're gonna see how your nation rapidly declines. So these other nations are starting to see that. Now they're getting mad now, and of course, again they're beating their plowshares into swords, as it says Joel chapter 3:10. They're beating their plowshares into swords and their pruning hooks into spears. Getting tired of the things that America's doing, such as trying to raid these other nations, trying to put their propaganda out there and stuff. And hey, it says verse 8, Babylon suddenly fallen and destroyed, howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone to his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. Right, man, and this place won't be healed. Babylon is unhealable. You can't heal Babylon, man, because Yahweh Bashim Yashai set this place up for destruction. It's too much blood in this land, as we know. This land was originally inhabited by the northern kingdom of the nation of Israel, being the so-called Native Americans, Latinos, which, Esau completely slaughtered. Millions of so-called Native Americans and Latinos. Esau brought the so-called Negroes from, of course, West Africa onto the Americas, man. We all served a hard bondage and captivity in this land, man. We were completely, we got slaughtered. The soils of America is filled with the blood of the Israelites. So it's no way that you can heal Babylon, man. You can't heal it. So this place is going to have to be burned by fire. The Lord's going to put the Spirit on these other nations to send their nuclear arsenal upon Babylon the Great, which is America. Also, once Yahushua comes back, he's going to be sending his holy angels and their chariots to be shooting the high concentrated fire that's spoken about in 2 Ezra chapter 13. They're going to be shooting the high concentrated fire. In other words, lasers, high concentrated energy upon Babylon the Great, man, emitting, that fire. So, aiding in the destruction of America. It says, Jeremiah chapter 50:10, or Jeremiah chapter 51:10, the Lord Yahweh hath brought forth our righteousness. Come, let us declare in work, or it says in Zion, the work of the Lord Yahweh, our power. See? So this is what we're expecting, man. We want Babylon to be destroyed. At least as brothers out there, the wicked 2/3 of our people, the 2/3 of the nation of Israel spoken about in Zechariah chapter 13:8. Hey, they, at the end of the day, they don't want Babylon to be destroyed. They don't want America to be destroyed, man, because they think that this place is their rest. They love it here. And us brothers, man, we hate it here. Few sisters out there, us hopeful elect, we hate this place, man. Yeah, man, because this place isn't our rest. We got to breathe in chemtrails. We got to eat these foods, which is completely defiled. We got to drink the defiled water, which is loaded with GMOs and pesticides and fluoride. And you got to work these back-breaking jobs, or basically be a corporate slave. You can't really have your own land because land, they make land expensive. You got to pay land tax. I mean, first you got to buy land, which what? A good plot of land is what, a couple million, if I'm not mistaken. So this place is in our rest, man. I mean, not to mention the education system's completely polluted. Our children got to go to these schools. The agendas that are being pushed. You can be sodomite. The entertainment industry completely defiled, man. Hey, this place is in our rest. So yeah, we do want the destruction of America, man. Because we know that there's the kingdom of heaven, man, is right after this place, as it says in 2 Ezra chapter 6 and 9. The end of the world, or Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The eternal kingdom, the real life, which is going to be in the kingdom of heaven, man. That's what we're expecting. Hey, this place that we're in right now is death. We're living in death right now. It says Jeremiah chapter 51 and 11, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord Yahweh hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. Yeah, the Medes representing the Russians. When you look at an ancient map of the Medes, it aligns with the land of Russia. If you look at one of the ancient maps, it says, for his device is against Babylon to destroy. Yeah, and when scriptures speak about the Medes, it links up to the Russians once you apply it. It says, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. See, so this is what the Lord wants, man. Whatever Yahweh Bashim Shai wants, we want it. And we have the wisdom and knowledge and understanding, to see why these things need to come to pass. Ultimately, these things need to come to pass. Why? Because, what? Babylon Great is wicked, man. The ways of this place is completely contrary to the earth, is destroying the earth. So what? The earth, man, needs a cleansing, and that cleansing will be through fire. Babylon Great will be destroyed. Yahushua will come back, beam up his elect. Then Yahushua will establish his righteous kingdom, taking down these other nations, these other countries. And there will be slaves and captives under our people. Revelation chapter 2, 25 on down. Isaiah chapter 14. Revelation chapter 13 and 10. Psalm chapter 2. Many more scriptures, man, that speak about our people ruling over, these other nations. Ultimately, with that rod of iron, Yahushua will give, as it says in Psalm chapter 2, the Heavenly Father has given his son basically an inheritance, or to rule over the heathen with the rod of iron, man. That's the inheritance that the Lord gave unto his son. And guess what? The Lord Yahushua will pass that inheritance onto us, ruling over the other nations with a rod of iron, man. So this is what that's what we're expecting. The perfect bodies. Hey, man, everything will be within the kingdom of heaven, as far as your heart can desire. So that's what we're expecting, man. This place has nothing, is really, man, nothing beneficial onto us. Everything here will be burned up. So yeah, Jeremiah chapter 51 and 12, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the bushes, or it says, prepare the ambushes, for the Lord Yahweh hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. So this is coming. It says, Revelation chapter 20 and 7, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Yeah, meaning, of course, around the times of 300 AD, what Esau basically lost his power and was shut up until the Renaissance period, during between 300 AD, the, in those years of, the 300 AD period, up until the Renaissance period. Between that time, it was as known as the Dark Ages. Why? Because Esau wasn't ruling. Israel, the Israelites were ruling. The so-called Negroes, Native Americans, Latinos, we were ruling. Of course, the Northern Kingdom, Native Americans, Latinos were already in America, right? But ever since the Renaissance period, the Lord basically allowed Esau to be loosed out of their prison. Their prison being what? The caves, the Caucasus Mountains. That's where, the term caveman really comes from. When Esau fled into the Caucasus Mountains and they became cavemen. And I mean, hey, you already know the description of a caveman. That's basically Esau. That's really Esau's natural state. The basis of all men. It says, verse 8. So yeah, right now, currently, since the Renaissance period, Esau has been loosed out of his prison. So he has been ruling ever since, really. He has been given power, over the earth. It says, Revelation chapter 28, 20 and 8, it says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, yet giving these other nations their wine, their philosophies, their ways. It says, Gog and Magog to gather them to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. Gog and Magog represents the Russians, which, also the Russians are Edomites as well. But what? The scriptures say how Egyptian shall rise up against Egyptian, how Satan shall rise up against Satan. Kingdom against kingdom. Yeah, and Satan will rise up against Satan. Gog and Magog together in the battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. Yes, so there you have it, man. The scriptures, many other scriptures, man, that say how there will be a third world's war. Whether it will Babylon the Great against these other nations. Israel, the land of Israel will be destroyed as well. Only difference is the land of Israel will be restored once the righteous kingdom of Yahushua is established, and the Heavenly Father puts back the original people, the real Israelites, back in that land. But the Babylon the Great, however, will be a desert. Once it's cooled down from that fire, it'll be burning for a long period of time. It'll eventually become a desert. And literally it's going to be a place where no man will inhabit ever again. So yeah, this was coming. This was awaiting. This prophecy, man. The third world's war is coming. And it will be Babylon the Great versus Russia and the rest of these other nations, man. So Lord's will you bless up to edify the Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, Bashim Kakurash Prakathum. Shalom.